It was a crisp Saturday morning, the kind where the air smells like pine and the lake sparkles under the early sun. I was sipping coffee on the deck of my modest 24-foot pontoon boat, the water lapping gently against the hull, when a sharp voice sliced through my peace. "Remove that monstrosity immediately. It's a blatant violation of HOA Code Section 12.4. I looked up to see a woman in her 50s, arms crossed tightly, standing on my private dock like she owned it. Her polo shirt had a neighborhood logo stitched on it, and her expression screamed authority. "Excuse me," I said, setting my mug down, genuinely thrown off. She pointed at my boat like it was a crime scene. "That boat is unauthorized and must be gone by Monday. The covenants state no watercraft can be docked without permits, which you clearly don't have." I stood, trying to wrap my head around this. "I'm sorry, who are you?" "Linda Hargrove, president of Willow Shores Homeowners Association," she declared, her tone dripping with pride, like she was announcing herself as mayor. "You're violating at least 3 bylaws. I've got photos to prove it." I nodded slowly, letting her words sink in. "Well, Linda," I said, keeping my voice steady, "I appreciate your concern, but you're trespassing right now." She laughed, a sharp, dismissive bark. "This is community property, young man. As HOA president, I have every right." I held up a hand. "No, you don't, because I own this lake." Her face froze confusion, then disbelief, then pure indignation. "That's absurd. The lake belongs to the community. Always has." I smiled. "It's in the deed. Want to see it?" Her mouth opened, closed, open again, but no words came out. She stormed off, tossing a "this isn't over" over her shoulder. Oh, she had no idea. 6 months ago, I bought this slice of paradisia 5-acre lot with 300 feet of frontage on Crystal Lake. The custom-built house and towering pines were nice, but the real gem? The deed that came with it, granting me full ownership of the lake itself. Turns out, the original owners, the Carter family, had held onto the lake bed and water rights when they sold off the surrounding land to developers in the 80s. The Willow Shores folks thought they got the lake, but the Carters' contract was crystal clear. The water was theirs. That ownership passed through a few hands until it landed with me. Apparently, nobody in the HOA had bothered to check the fine print. I kept a low profile since MOVYing in, while VYing at neighbors, making small talk, launching my boat without a fuss. But that boat? It lit a match under Linda's world. 3 days after our dockside showdown, a notice appeared on my door official HOA letterhead, citing improper storage of recreational vehicles and threatening a due law 100 daily fine. I called the number listed, left a polite voicemail explaining the mix-up. Crickets. 2 days later, another notice. Unauthorized aquatic active VY tie and improper lake access. The fine doubled. I sent a certified letter with my deed and survey, asking the HOA to acknowledge my rights. It came back unopened. Neighbors started dodging me. One evening, Tom from 2 doors down sidled up while I was grabbing my mail. "Heads up," he whispered, glancing around like we were in a spy MOVY. "Linda's losing it over your boat. She's calling an emergency board meeting about your blatant violation. Her fishing clubs her whole life. Watch your back." I sighed. "Tom, I own the lake. It's in my deed." He shook his head. "Won't matter to Linda. She's been running that club for years. It's personal now." Things boiled over during a small family barbecue. My parents and sister were VY sighting, and we were grilling burgers on my patio when Linda marched across my lawn, flanked by 2 HOA minions in matching polos. "We've had complaints about noise and smoke," she announced, loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. "And you're holding an unauthorized gathering while defying regulations about that boat." My dad, ever the peacemaker, stood with a grin. "Care for a burger? Plenty to go around." Linda ignored him. "Your boat's ruining the lake's ecosystem. The fishing clubs reported a 30-fan tram drop in catch rates since you started churning up the water." I kept my cool. "Linda, you're on my property. This party doesn't need HOA approval. And I've told you the lake's mine." Her face turned beet red. "That's ridiculous. The lake's been community property since Willow Shores was built." I shrugged. "I've got the documents. The board meets Tuesday. Be there if you want to avoid penalties. She stormed off, her posse scrambling to keep up. Tuesday night, I walked into the community center, binder in hand, facing a packed room of curious neighbors. Linda sat at the head table, flanked by 4 grim-faced board members. "We'll now address the violations by the owner of Lot 16, she began, not even using my name. I raised a hand. Before we go further, let's clear something up. I opened my binder and slid 2 documents across the table. This is my deed, including full ownership of Crystal Lake. And this is the 1976 Carter Family Trust, excluding the lake from community development." The room went dead silent. Linda's smug smile vanished as she flipped through the pages. This can't be right," she stammered. "The lake's always been HOA property." I shook my head. "The developers got it wrong, and nobody fixed it. Legally, the lake's mine." Her eyes narrowed. "Years of community use make it ours by default." A board member coughed. "We'll need our attorney." Linda slammed the table. "The bylaws say common areas are ours, no matter what old papers say." I gather my documents. I've been reasonable, but the harassment stops now. My lawyer's sending a cease and desist letter tomorrow. Good night. Whispers erupted as I left. But instead of backing off, Linda doubled down. Emails flooded every resident's inbox, accusing me of stealing community resources and destroying traditions. Her fishing club, her pride and joy, complete with membership fees, became her battle cry. I consulted my attorney and took action. Professional private property. No HOA access signs went up around the lake. I sent notices to every household. I wasn't banning casual lake use, but organized active VY ties like Linda's club needed my permission and insurance. The neighborhood splitsome apologized, admitting they didn't know the lake was private. Others, loyal to Linda, whispered I was privatizing a natural resource. The fishing club's next meeting was a spectacle. From my window, I watched members mill around the community dock, unsure what to do. Linda arrived, while VYing a stack of papers. "We have established rights through years of use," she shouted. Spotting me, she waved her papers like a flag. "This isn't over." I called back, "Respect the signs, Linda." 2 days later, the HOA filed a legal challenge to my ownership. My lawyer laughed it off. Their case was baseless. But the real breaking point came on a sunny Saturday. Shouting "Pull me" to my window. Linda and a dozen supporters were launching canoes and kayaks from the community beach, while VYing signs, "Save our lake," and "Community rights matter." Linda stood in a canoe, megaphone in hand. "This lake belongs to all of us. We're protesting this illegal seizure." I called the non-emergency police line. 2 officers arrived, checked my deed, and approached the water. "Ma'am, you're trespassing on private property," one called. Linda paddled closer to my dock, defiant. "This is a peaceful protest. We have rights." The officer's voice hardened. "The deed's clear. Return to shore, or you'll be arrested." Linda shouted back, "I've been HOA president for 11 years. I won't be bullied by some newcomer who thinks he can buy our lake." What happened next was pure chaos. As a patrol boat closed in, Linda tried to paddle away and tipped her canoe. Soaking wet, she was hauled ashore, still yelling about community rights as handcuffs clicked. The crowd gasped. She was charged with criminal trespass, resisting arrest, organizing an unauthorized gathering, and later, harassment for her relentless HOA notices. The fallout was swift. Linda's arrest hit local news, forcing her to resign from the HOA. Their insurance refused to cover her legal fees, Leah VYing her with thousands in bills. The judge hit her with a DULA $5,000 fine, 200 hours of community care VYC, and a restraining order barring her from my property. In court, her face crumpled. "I was protecting our community," she whispered, tears streaming down as reality hit. "Life's quieter now. The lake's peaceful again, and most neighbors respect my rights. But the stories left a mark, some still glare when I pass. It's wild how one boat sparked a war, but I stood my ground, and the law backed me up. What do you think? Was I too harsh banning the fishing club? Or Was Linda's crusade way out of line? Should HOAs have more power over private property, or did I have every right to shut it down? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Lake owner, and subscribe for more crazy neighbor stories.